What's up? I'm Nick from Arcane Sanctuary. Today I am super stoked. I got an awesome plugin from Aroura DSP called the Mammoth. It is a bass amp simulator and distortion. So let's run to this thing and see what we can get out of it. Today I'm going to be going over it with my Warwick Streamer Standard and Drop C and going directly into my Apogee Ensemble. Here's my clean tone. Let's unbypass this and see what we come up with. All right, cool. Sounds like a vintage Ampeg to me. That's the first drive setting. So this thing is pretty intuitive. I actually had to read the manual because there is a lot to it. It didn't scare me away though. At first glance, I was going through a bunch of things and there's a lot to really go over. So this may be a little bit in depth. I'm gonna probably pop the manual open for a little reference, but this thing is sick. I played around with it for a couple hours today and I am stoked about it. It's got some really cool differences in some of the plugins that you don't see, and I'm going to go over all of that with you and see what we come up with. Okay, so first we're going to start off with the interface here. We have your input, which we nailed a little bit up as it was just a little bit less than my my pickups. It might be because my bass is in not active pickups, it's standard pickups, so could be that's the reason. I don't know, but it was a little bit low. It was about 5 decibels too low. All right, so at first we're going to jump right into this thing. We got your input output crossover here. So your crossover is going to be the affected. Anything above this threshold that you set will be affected by the plugin's distortion. Your drive section here, mid, low, and high. You have a melt, brute. I'm going to go over all those. Your drive is basically 3 different amp selections. So you have what's modeled after, I believe, an older Ampeg. The second one is an AC, so I'm assuming it's one of the for the bass. And then the third one's, I think it's one of the dark glass plugins. So you can dial in from 0 to 20 on this, and right here, I mean, the Ampeg's got, to me, the most distortion. You can really raise that. The AC Vox is more of a clean, old school vintage vibe, which is cool. Then you got your dark glass, and more of a modern preamp sound. All right, moving on, we got your, your standard EQ you can mess around with. Now the melt button's really cool. It rounds off the sound, so. If it's just a little too aggressive for you, you hit that melt button, it tames it right up. Now the brute's quite the opposite. It'll really add some balls. Now we're getting that vintage modern sound everyone's looking for. I have to hit it with a pick and show you how it is. All right, so you got the Mammoth section here is actually pretty cool. Add some real, it's like the special sauce, I guess, to it. You can just switch that up and keep going. There's an HQ for high quality. Really sounds nice. All right, let's move on a little bit. That one you gotta be careful with. I pushed that up too much and it gets brutal. I like it a lot. But you gotta mess with it. Play with the melt button on something like that and turn that up as high as you can. It'll probably round that down a little bit. This thing's very universal. Here you have your input IR loader, and there's 3 cabinets. You got a 610, a 412, and an 8x10. I've been on the 610. Let's jump to the 810. Let's go back to that Ampeg. This is awesome. Comes with a blend. You know I love the blend because I like my DI coming through with that distortion. Very cool. Moving down, you got your bass section here and your growl. The bass is going to add some depth to the low end. See right there, we went to the 8x10s. Notoriously doesn't have enough low end. All of a sudden you add 2.5 to, you got plenty of low end. Now this is cool, it's low end harmonics. I was playing with this before hitting the, I'm like, it does nothing. There it is. All right, cool. It does come with some presets. We'll go over them in a little bit, but I just want to jump into the compressor. All right, evens it out pretty good. Now, you got an output also. Yeah, I wasn't clipping, so I'll leave that as out. Normally, you know, like I'll go over the presets. I like them, so let's check them out. So let's hit this back to the factory default. We got primal. Pretty cool. It's got some low end to it. It's nice. Not too aggressive. Godzilla. I'm going to come back to that one with a different bass in a few moments because that's a cool preset. Oh. We got the lambskin. It also shows you a little highlight on the IR section, so I guess it's got a different IR for that, which is pretty cool too. You got your gent god. Let's get a pick. Everyone else gents, I don't, but I try. Moving on. Get the piri piri. I don't know what that means, but I like it. Now you know this is my slap sound. All right, so that's all for the presets on there. Now, one thing I did note, and it sounds very gated, but I don't see a gate switch. So I think the algorithm has a built-in gate to it because it just, I mean, it sounds awesome. And there's no nastiness at all. Good. I mean, it's very little, you know, it lets it go through like, you can stop it instantly, which is really cool. I like that, you know, the less features that you have, sometimes the better. With this one, I wouldn't mind it because there are a lot of features to this thing. This thing is a very intuitive plugin. I would definitely rate this thing for someone more advanced, and you know, instead of someone just looking to get something to just jam with. This thing's serious. This thing's got some freaking power to it. It's a lot of potential. Great for the mixing and stuff. I can't wait to use this thing into a song and start playing around with that. But just by messing around with this thing, it's got tons of possibility. It's an extremely light, very light distortions to just ripping heavy. And it's not out of control. It's very tamed. I don't know what he did to do that. I'm glad they did it because some of the distortion plugins, it's very hard to tame them. This one's very easy to tame, but it is ruthless. So I do like that as well. Yeah, I mean, this thing's great. You know, I absolutely recommend it. I believe right now it's on sale on their website for $29.95. Just do yourself a favor when you get it, go through the manual. It took me a little bit to figure out what was going on. I had to go to the manual. Once I read it, it was very straightforward. It took me 2 minutes to go through the manual. It's not long at all. And you realize what everything is. I mean, I was looking at the 610, 412, 810 at first. I'm like, oh, cool, those are different frequency ranges. You could pick a different mid-range, and I was all wrong about that. Those are the cabinet sections. So go through there, learn it, love it. It's freaking awesome. This plug-in is cool. I'm going to jam out with another bass because I want to try something real quick. All right, so I'm back. I got my my custom P bass I made, and I'm gonna hit that Godzilla setting with a pick because I have a feeling this is gonna be a really cool punk rock sound. I was right. That is a cool preset. But let's jam on and let's go back and see if we can find some cool stuff with this. I did like that Piri Piri. Gives you an option also you can save your presets, which I have a default setting in Pro Tools as well. But I used to slap a lot. I swear I'll start practicing again. This thing sounds cool. So right there, it just shows a little bit of tweaking on something, just a regular general preset, and moved around a couple things very easily. Got a very usable sound. Um, I would definitely give this thing 5 slaps. It's awesome. Mammoth distortion, I guess you would call it the Mammoth plugin. Absolutely a fan. This thing is just really cool. One thing I would recommend though is to buy it right away because there is a discount on it right now. So get it. No, seriously though, this thing is very cool. So once again, I am Nick from Arcane Sanctuary. I am currently quarantined with an awesome plugin. I am super stoked. I am excited. I'm gonna play the hell out of this thing and I will show this thing around because this thing is legit. Definitely is. Take care.